Hello and welcome to this watercolor sailboat tutorial. I will start off the video with a pencil sketch and then we will work on a few different layers of watercolor. So right now I've just indicated a little bit of pavement in the foreground, and now I'm working on the land on the other side of the water. There's a pebbly beach and then a hilly area and then a distant hill. And now I'm working on a strip of darker looking clouds. Now we're going to move on to the boats themselves. There are four. Three are preparing to launch and one will be already in the water. So just trying to get the shapes of the sails to be about correct, nothing too precise. There are a few people in the scene getting the boats ready to launch. I draw them very simply with just a little rectangle for the head, sort of a triangle for the torso, and then two little rectangles for the legs. Really the only thing I'm trying to do is get the head, shoulders, and waist in the right area. Not really trying to get anything more accurate than that. And we're adding in another person. This one is further away than that first person we've drawn, as well as this one I'm working on now. They're going to be a little bit smaller. They're a little bit further away. And now this person is closest to us, and I should have drawn the legs all the way to the bottom, but I stopped them at the pavement. I do realize that and fix it later on. It's an easy enough fix. Drawing in the last sailboat that is close to us, the viewer, and now working on that fourth last sailboat that has already launched. Now we're drawing the wake that the sailboat has left behind. We're going to make that a different color when we get to painting. It's going to be lighter closer to us and darker farther away. And pretty soon we're going to be drawing in the shadow shapes in the masts where they have creased in the wind and created little shadows. So we're erasing the background lines first, and here we go. We're drawing in those shapes. We're going to hatch them in later on to show that they are in fact supposed to be darker. Just trying to make forms that are organic and accurate to what I'm seeing in the photo. The real shapes will be better than anything I could come up with out of imagination, so we're just sticking to the real story here. Hatching in that pavement closest to us and the shadow where the hill meets the beach, redefining the bottom edge of that cloud. Drawing in some rope details that are holding the sails to the boat, to the mast. And just taking a kneaded eraser and just lightly erasing. I still want to see what I've drawn so I know where to paint, but I don't want it to be as dark as when I drew it. So now we're starting with some ultramarine, and we're going to work from the top down. Just ultramarine and some water, filling in the top, a bit of sky. Now something that I've been working on is adding more water than I think to my paint, but having less water on my brush when I go to paint. That has helped my blending. There are no more sort of cauliflower blotches anymore. Now I've really just watered down that sky color, very watered down. You can barely see it in the video. We're just filling in that cloud shape. We will darken it and define it, give it some shape later, but for now, for this first pass, it's very light. And again, these aren't clouds that you would see on a bright day. These are sort of rainy looking clouds, they will be darker when we add more color. Another thing here, you'll see me mopping up excess water, just drying off my brush on the towel there, and then wiping away excess paint. I wouldn't want it to spread too unpredictably when I add in the next section of paint adjacent to what I'm working on now. Now right now I do think that lower strip of sky is a bit dark, so on the next pass I will darken the top section of sky. I usually like the top section of sky to be darker than the sky closer to the horizon. And we're filling in that hill that's far, far away with a bluish, purplish color, just to show that it's so far away that we can't see the green of the grass anymore. And now with some old yellowish green paint, I'm adding in the hill that is closest to us, that we can see the grass color. And with the second pass, we will darken it more and create shapes and lines in the direction of the slopes, so we get a better sense of how it is sloping and it's not just one flat color. But for this first pass, everything is going to seem a bit flat. Mopping up some excess paint again. This is the sort of shadow where the hill drops off and then meets the pebbly beach below. Creating a brownish, tannish color for the beach. Being very careful not to touch the sails. We want those to be pretty much white. Adding some more ultramarine blue to that hill and sky color. We made it a little purple, so now we're bringing it back to blue. And we're just making a flat shape for the water. Being careful to outline the people and the sails and to not run into them. We are watching this at 3 times my drawing speed. I think it took me a total of an hour and 20 something minutes to do the whole the pencil sketch and the coloring in. If you want to watch it at close to real-time speed, you can use the YouTube settings and slow it down. And I would advise doing that sometimes, because in a sped up and edited tutorial, you don't get to see all the times I paused, I stopped, I was thinking, does this color work here? Is it dark enough? And so that is something that, YouTube videos can be a little deceptive about sometimes. You don't see all the thinking, all the stopping, all the planning. So in the reference photo, the hulls of the boats were all different colors. But I decided that since it was a pretty blue heavy scene, that the hulls should all be this orangish color. Orange is across from blue on the color wheel and is blue's complement. I was happy with that creative choice. Now we're creating a very, very light grayish color for the sails. I think the pencil actually darkened it more than the paint pigment did. And pretty soon we're going to go back and just darken those areas of the sail that we indicated earlier. But for now, everything is just a flat shape. Coloring in that furthest sailboat. Now we're moving on to the figures. I'm really just giving them a base color, and then later on we'll add some shadow shapes to show where the sun is coming. Gives them a little bit of form, but the people aren't really the main focus here, so they're not getting too much attention. Now we're going in with a bluish gray, coloring in those shapes of the creases in the sail that we drew earlier. And after this we're going to do actually another layer for the darkest parts of the sails. And I am making sure everything is dry before I go in with a next layer of paint. I cut out the parts where I'll touch it to make sure it's dry. Now we're making the distant water a darker blue. We'll draw on some waves as well, and the wake as well, the waves from the wake of the boat. There we go, adding some of the ripples or waves. I do end up adding more after I turn the camera off, so I will include a photo of the finished result. The shadow of that hill needed to be darker. It was one of the darkest areas in the photo, so we're definitely adding a second layer to that. We'll even add a third layer once that's dry as well. Here we go, darkening the top part of the sky, as the horizon should be lighter than the top portion of sky. So we're darkening that. Going in with our second layer for the clouds, we're going to do 3 total. This will just help the cloud not feel so flat. It will give it some shape, some dimension, and it should also help indicate that there could potentially be some rain today. Darkening the pebbly beach, perhaps where the water is hitting it, making it darker. Now I'm going into the figures again, making sure to leave a strip on the left side to show that that is where the sun is hitting their form. Now going in and indicating the shadows on the boats with a darker orange. That person standing near the boat is casting a shadow on the boat, so we're going to include that right there. Drawing in the wheels used to launch the boats into the water. Now in real life the masts were white, but here we're using a darker blackish color to indicate them. Now the sail on the right of that sailboat is crossing the mast, so the mast doesn't go all the way down like it does in the other boats. And the colors that I have pretty much exclusively stuck to in this painting are ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, a little bit of forest green with the green areas, and using ivory black for the really black details. Now we're going with our last layer for the creases in the sailboat, adding some finishing touches. All of the boats had a rim, a lip at the top edge. We're including that. Helps give the boat some form, some interest. Now at this point, I should have switched to my smaller brush, and I do eventually do that, but we're drawing in the rope details. There we go, switched over. Now we're going to go back to the hills with a darker green, and we're just going to create shapes and lines, leaving some of the lighter area exposed, and that will help show the direction of the slope of the hills. The direction of your brush strokes can always help indicate form. Going in and making some waves. The distant water did look a little bit choppier, so we're indicating that. And then we're also indicating more of the waves created by the wake of the boat. More layers of value for the figures. Give them more form. Again, keeping the darker paint to the right side, keeping the left side lighter. That is where the light is coming from. And going in with our final layer for the clouds, keeping it loose and organic to show the form of the clouds. Some more rope detail, and we are practically done. this point, I'm taking a lot of time to pause, look at the painting, evaluate, does anything need to be darker? Do I want to add more detail anywhere? But I have cut out a lot of these pauses, so that's why I'm letting you know, so you know at the beginning and the end particularly, I'm really thinking about what I'm doing. Alright, and we're done. Here is a close-up of the final result. I did add more waves. I thought that area needed some more interest. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it's a great scene to try drawing and painting if you're a beginner. Give it a try and let me know how your painting experience goes. If you liked this video or found it interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be putting out new drawing or painting tutorials soon. Thank you for watching and have fun painting.